So within those patterns, like what are some of the limiting views that like men come up against?
That tops only want to hook up with bottoms, and that bottoms only want to hook up with tops. That it's not okay to be hairy. That some of the limiting views that people put on themselves, I think, is that they're never going to find love because they're not worthy of love, because they've never really had true acceptance of themselves, and so they need to fit in and prove themselves by by attaining love from as many people as possible. These are just some things that come to mind.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
But what is the trap of that? Because like when I hear that, it's like it's really limiting the person. So what do you think is the trap of that? Like when we have these limited views, like what does it limit us from?
Genuine, authentic connection. Because it's I think we grow up playing like a game of Survivor. It's like, what can I say or what can I do to advance myself in the game and not get voted off the island? Because we don't want people to find out that we're gay, or we just want to fit in, and we want to like whatever. And then we come out of the closet, and it's a different game of Survivor. We're just on a different island, but it's the same game of Survivor. It's like, okay, well, how do I fit in? How do I fit in as a gay man? How do I get them to not vote me off? And how do I get into an alliance? Then I really think like everyone should just walk around the island however they want to walk around the island, and mingle with whoever they want to mingle with on the island, and not care so much about whether or not they might get voted off, and really just like because we don't know when we're going to get voted off. And I think that in the meantime we might as well just enjoy the fact that we're on a beautiful island, you know?
Right. and it's not as easy said than done, but I'm curious now of like, okay, so what is the process that one can start taking in order to just walk around and be happy and be on that beautiful island and be with everybody and be with themselves? Like what are some of the steps that you include in your coaching with your clients of like to start them on that journey?
Well, this is where it gets tricky, because I don't like to sit here and give advice, because I don't know what's going to work for everyone, because I don't know who everyone is, you know? So that's why I think coaching is cool, because I get to like get intimate with you and find out how you work and come up with a process for you. My first piece of advice, I guess, if I'm giving advice, is to stop doing it by yourself. It's 2020. This topic of toxicity has been exposed. This topic of inauthenticity has been exposed. There's literally spiritual teachers. There are mindfulness gurus. There are people leading the vulnerability movement, like Brene Brown. There are tons of resources. Get a book, get a journal, get a person. Stop doing it like just in your head and like hoping it's going to work out. I think that I talked about this recently in an interview. It was like people love my story because they love to hear about the trauma when I was bullied when I was younger, and then they love to hear that I like came out a strong gay man. But no one wants to know what I did in between to figure that out. Like no one wants to do the actual work to like also have that story.
Right.
And so my thing is like, I don't think you should just keep walking around and hoping it's going to happen. I think it's a healing process, and like you should look into what that healing process is for you, and you shouldn't do it on your own.
Right. And I'm curious, like what is one thing that you actually did to start yourself on that journey?
Yeah, I mean, I do it all. I'm a little I do so much.
I hear you.
I recently was talking to someone, and they were like talking about self-care, and I was like, gosh, I think I might do a little too much self-care. But you know, I journal, I meditate, I go to therapy, I also have a life coach. I'm part of like groups. A lot of it for me is time by myself. I've discovered that I'm an introvert. Music is a huge way that I've kind of discovered what's coming up for me and put it out there and used it to connect with someone and realize I'm not alone. there's literally like so many things. I mean, even working out, you know, is a way to like release tension and maybe get more to the heart of something, you know. I think, I mean, obviously if I'm being selfish, I'm gonna vote for life coaching so that I get more clients. But no, I mean, I think everything looks different for each other. I think just being inquisitive is an answer too. Like, start questioning things. Don't just assume everything you've always known is true. Open the mind a little bit and start to be like, what isn't true, you know? Because it turns out there's a lot that's not true.
Right. You know, I'm grateful to have started on this journey, you know, especially when it comes to, you know, relationships. And I remember my calling in the one coach, and my friend was like, you need to read this book. That's okay, you know, reading the book. And I remember one of the very first things to have us do is we had to define what we need in a person. And then you had to make this list of what I want. And then she makes you write on the other side, well, are you that for yourself and other people in your life? And I was like, oh my God, that like kind of really blew me away.
Yeah.
Because I was not asking myself, nor I was identify, am I that with other people? And I saw how much work that I needed to do for myself, because I couldn't demand or expect somebody else to bring that to the relationship if I was unwilling or didn't know how to bring that to the relationship. So I'm curious of like how much of defining what your needs and wants in a relationship is important to having, you know, healthy love life or life in general.
Yeah, I mean, this podcast is an example of something you can do. I mean, even just hearing what your process was for finding out what you need in a relationship. Like, if people were to listen to this every week when you release an episode and find gay men who are overcoming these narratives, that's doing the work right there, you know. It can be as complicated or as easy as waking up every day and writing down 3 things you like about yourself first thing when you wake up, you know, just to like get that positivity going before the day goes. As far as like me and what I want in a relationship, dating's always been my toughest arena, just because I think that's the first place where it really hit home that it's me who's kind of doing the self-sabotaging behavior. Dating has led to a lot of my realizations about like who I am and what I have to bring to the table. And so, yeah, I think it's a sensitive topic for me, and it carries a lot of weight. So as far as like how I'm handling it, with dating, I really do think it's a moment by moment thing. I think that you can do the work on yourself, and then you have to like connect with someone in the moment and hope that the work you did on yourself carries into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you have to trust that the work is going to be there to carry the day, because, you know, dating is a thing for me too. And I think one of the things I find as a person as a coach or a person who does this kind of work, is that you hope that the person on the other end has done work on themselves too. Because there's a huge difference between someone who has done work like you and I have, and the person who hasn't. And so for me, like, I see people's things and their isms and their texting and the way they're acting and the behavior, and I have to learn how to stop myself a lot of the times. It's like, okay, do I engage in this, or I pull myself away because now I'm either triggered, or I just know that this person is not meant for me, and I either move on, and it's like exactly what you're just saying. It's really a moment by moment, and dating can be frustrating. But when you have, for me, I feel like because I have done the work on myself, that like I've learned to laugh a lot of this stuff off of what people bring to the table and say, oh, okay, well, you know, next. Because it's like, for me right now, it's like not even worth getting frustrated over sometimes anymore.
Yeah, it gets easier eventually. I kind of compare it to physical therapy a lot. So like physical therapy. The whole point of physical therapy is like to work weaker muscles to make them as strong as the
Right.
stronger muscles, right? And in the gay community, we grow up with really strong narratives like, I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy of love. And so those are strong, right? And so to work the weaker narratives, like I am worthy of love, I am deserving, I am this strong, confident, amazing person. Those take work, mindfulness work, the work we're describing, the work on yourself. And then, but you can't do physical therapy while you're playing a sport. You just then have to go play the sport. So it's like, I feel like dating is a sport. Then you go out there and you play. But then you go home and you do your physical therapy. So the next day you don't sprain a muscle. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like this work that you're doing to get your muscles where they need to be, and then you're going and playing the game.
Yeah, awesome.
And you're present with the game, and you're on the field, and you're doing your best job. But I don't think you can be like on the field and like stretching. You know, it doesn't work like that.
No. Well, we're coming towards the end here. It's been great. So I'm just going to ask you a couple quick questions as I do everybody at the end. So,
okay.
What does a life of love mean to you?
A life of love means feeling support. I mean, I'm getting two answers. I'm getting like just feeling supported and connected, but also just a love for yourself, because a life of love could be as equivalent for an old lady who's in a home by herself to, a full family of functioning. Like I think both situations can have love. One is just like whether you're really loving yourself and life and everything that is, and one might involve other people. I think, yeah. Sorry.
That's okay.
That's the way my mind works. It gets a little. All of it, I get so analytical about everything.
That's okay. So how do you disrupt yourself?
Disrupt myself?
Yes, like get out of your own way. How do you get out of your own way?
By getting quiet. Getting more time with yourself is the way to get out of the way of yourself, I think.
Okay.
More time with what's beneath the surface, because if there's something in the way, it's usually a surface level thought. That's maybe not true. I think if we dig beneath that, we get to something that's a little more truthful.
Yeah. Awesome. Great. And what does a juicy love life look like to you?
A juicy love life?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know. Like a sexy love life. One where there's like a lot of like there's a lot of like action,
More actions?
Yeah, I feel like juicy is equivalent to sexy.
And where can people find you online?
The best place to find me is on my Instagram, Brian Falduto, or you could go to my other Instagram, which is LGBT Life Coach. The one is my personal, and the other one's if you want a daily dose of love. Okay, cool. Well, I greatly appreciate you being here, and thank you for your wisdom, your guidance, and all. Oh, of course, so fun. Yeah. Everyone stay safe, happy, healthy, sane. Yes. Reach out if you need help. Yeah. Yes. Awesome.